Hey, it's Molly. Welcome back to my channel as we're going through a series of stelliums for each zodiac sign. And here we're going to discuss the Super Taurus Soul, where there was a lineup of many planets in Taurus. And this chart is for May 2nd, 2000. So of course, we'll be discussing various components of the chart, but I need to start by acknowledging that in May 2000, there was a great conjunction between Saturn and Jupiter, both in Taurus. The great conjunction between these two occurs every 20 years, but this was the only time it was in Taurus. So this brings more significance to this individual's life and of course to their chart. Now, full disclosure, I'm not referencing any particular person here. I'm just finding these charts that I think are quite fascinating and discussing them with you. And then you can certainly take these energies and apply them to your own chart or to your own life. For example, back in May 2000, this great conjunction between Saturn and Jupiter in Taurus would have occurred for you in your life as well. So that is a dominant energy here in this chart. And so even though we have the Sun, Mercury, Venus, and Mars all in Taurus, you can see the moon is here at 29 degrees of Aries. We have a full lineup across the span of Taurus, and the energy here is actually dominated by this great conjunction. So the Taurus energy being fixed earth, the first earth sign of the zodiac, is a stabilizer, anchor. It's the energy of what do I create with my physical senses that has meaning to me, that brings me more life, more joy, more happiness? Where do I invest my energy in a way that feels in alignment with my creation powers and what I'm here to experience in this lifetime? As the first earth sign, this is a builder, and I would consider this a master builder, a force of nature. And with this Saturn-Jupiter conjunction, this is someone who came in with executive power, definitely emphasized here with the conjunction to Jupiter and then the Sun being so close to both Jupiter, and I would say within a wide conjunction to Saturn. So this individual's sense of self is defined and felt not only through the Taurus themes and expressions, but there's something bigger here at play in their life. There's that expansive quality that supports abundance, growth, seeking one's spiritual purpose, perhaps exaggerating or amplifying, having a lot of something. But working with Saturn, it means there are boundaries associated with it. There's responsibility, commitment, and that there is a need here to focus and work hard for the results that will be earned. So this is someone who is probably here for success, for work, dedication, application. And in the Taurus energies, it's someone who also wants to have a firm, solid connection to the real world because they are designed to contribute in a powerful way to the reality that they experience, as well as to create their own reality. There's a lot of creation ability here that needs a direction, needs a place to go. And with that Taurus energy that will stay the course, see something through, stick to it, this is someone who came in probably feeling like I have a lot to do in this lifetime. And as soon as they figure out what that is, what calls to them, then they're going to be locked in and fixated on it. And that's also how, of course, the fixed signs work, is that they will focus in and invest. Investment is a big Taurus word here. Finding what is in alignment and how they want to invest their energy is very important. So, for example, this individual would be 25 now in the year 2025. And so there could have been a seriousness to their early life about what they wanted to focus on and develop, perhaps feeling more serious than others their age with that Saturn and Jupiter influence. Also a sense of duty, but a desire to work, wanting to put oneself towards whatever they can create and make. Now, the Taurus energy is also associated with finances, being financially aware of constraints and abundance, how these two work together. So a lot of responsibility here. Someone who comes in with a desire to manage their finances well, who's aware of maybe what they have in the bank, what they want to spend, what they want to invest in. And so this would be an individual who is here to make something important with their life, and their sense of self-worth is deeply tied into it. When you have a stellium like this, they're all on the same team. All the planets are together, working together in alignment with the same purpose, drive, ambition. And then we bring into the story the planets over here in Aquarius. So again, this chart was May 2nd, 2000, when this Neptune was in Aquarius and Uranus was in Aquarius as well. And you can see that both of these Aquarius planets square the energies in Taurus. And so this brings in higher frequencies, more unexpected disruptions, especially that Uranus in Aquarius there that wants to do things differently, breaks up the status quo. And you can see this Uranus is in almost an exact square to Saturn, which challenges authority. So right here, there's a sense of I'm going to go my own way and do my own thing. Very independent energy. Doesn't want to follow the rules, will be more disruptive, if you will, and definitely wants to create their own thing, go their own way, and not be as traditional as perhaps that Saturn in Taurus can be. And then when you add in Neptune in Aquarius here, squaring the ruling planet, Venus, in Taurus, and squaring that Mercury in Taurus, there's a bigger sense of purpose around this lifetime that is guiding this person behind the scenes, but they would be receiving various messages, downloads, and understandings about what they're here to change up. And there could be confusion because the Neptune squaring Mercury is a questioning energy, but because these are in the fixed signs, I'm just feeling this is the energy of knowing oneself as being more than just this physical earthly being, and again, re-enhancing the life mission. So for those who are born with Neptune in Aquarius, Uranus in Aquarius, you are holding these energies of having some very different experiences this lifetime that remind you of your higher cosmic frequencies, because this is strong starseed energy, here to change up the systems, to not be conventional, and to bring in new approaches, new systems, new mechanisms that would not be typical or expected. There is also a very buzzy energy here that needs personal expression. This is also quite creative as well. Very creative. And I'm feeling too like these Aquarius energies are downloading, it's like downloading into the earth new approaches of building and developing a dream in this lifetime, but also bringing in these experiences and creative expressions from other dimensions as well, and grounding them into the earth. So this could be the energy of being ahead of your time. That's part of what this energy signature can bring up, is that feeling like you're ahead of your time, but how do you slow it down, ground it in, anchor it, stabilize it to build something worthwhile and to create something in your life that is probably very personal. And that's another thing when you have a stellium, especially with the sun involved, it's more personal because it's working with all of these areas of yourself that connect back to the sun. Now, this can make an individual more subjective. It can feel like this is how I see things. This is how I am. There can be a lack of perspective or a lack of detachment with all stelliums. So do keep that in mind. But this is where there is a very clear assignment for this lifetime about being in the Taurus energies and feeling strongly that there's a driving need to build and do something worthwhile. Now, like all the earth signs, the Taurus energy is very practical and realistic and brings up, well, how is that going to work? How is that going to happen? How do I make that happen? And you have over here Pluto conjunct Chiron in Sagittarius, making a quincunx. Quincunx is that green line there, making it to the the Pluto is directly to the sun, and then Chiron is directly to the Jupiter. But they're working with also Saturn in here. So this is an inconjunct. And what that means is the two signs don't have much in common. So this is fixed earth feminine. This is mutable fire masculine. So they're on very different pages. And this is the desire to explore, understand oneself in the bigger picture of the world. There's adventure and belief systems with Sagittarius, but with the Chiron here, conjunct Pluto, it could be that one's own culture, belief system, religion, or where you come from never fits in, always feels powerless, doesn't feel that it enhances what you really believe. And so this would be the energy of seeking out, what do I believe in the world? Where do I spiritually belong? What aligns for me that ultimately empowers me, because I've been in perhaps dogma or other belief systems that have felt quite repressive, disempowering, held back, who I really am. But that Taurus energy will stay in line at times. But then you come back to the square from Uranus, which is, but I'm going to do my own thing and go my own way anyways. So these energies here, the Aquarius and the Sagittarius energies, are shaking up the ground of what the Taurus energy typically prefers. That Taurus energy is also about calm, patience, kindness, being aware of what is true without wanting drama, chaos, anything that's emotionally overwhelming or too big. But these energies can serve that up at times. Now the moon right here is important because it's in the fire sign of Aries, trailing behind the stellium in Taurus, but this is the energy of get up and go. Impatience, wanting to make moves, get things started, get things going. Yes, it's in an anaretic degree, the final degree of Aries. And so there could be a need here to get things started, and then all the Taurus energy comes through to say, okay, how much is it going to cost? What's it going to take? How long is it going to take to build it or create it? How much do I really want it? And I would say that's also another theme here with the Taurus energy, is like, not only what do I need to invest, how much do I really want it? And this could be a slow decision-making process, as each planet in Taurus needs to be in alignment with, yes, I want that. Yes, it matters to me. Yes, it's worth it. Now, this stellium has actually had quite an interesting ride for a few reasons, because the outer planets have been working with the Taurus energies for a while. So we could go back to, let's start with Pluto. When Pluto moved into Capricorn, 2008, 2009, Pluto and Capricorn started to trine planets in Taurus, which would have empowered them, transformed them, elevation. Pluto in Capricorn was supporting the earth signs. So specifically planets in Taurus and planets in Virgo. 2008 until last year, 2024. And that would have been a rise in empowerment, development, transforming the world and the life of the Taurus energies. Same for the Virgo energies. It was a very rare, once in a lifetime cycle of supporting what wanted to be built and to elevate it, to make it stronger and more powerful. Then basically there was an overlap then starting in 2018 when Uranus entered Taurus and made a conjunction to all the planets in Taurus, 2018 until 2026. And Uranus comes through the roller coaster ride of disruption, unexpected developments, big highs, big lows, inconsistency, change, very destabilizing for the fixed signs, and also uproots what the Taurus energy has planted. And so that can be exciting. It's very sudden. It's sudden opportunities, big windfalls, things happening, breaking through. It's an act fast. You don't know if it's going to be here next week kind of energy. Comes in fast, goes fast. And so it really disrupts the Taurus energies that prefer the planning, the traditional, the slow, the stability. And so the Uranus energy moves on, but it permanently changes the frequency of each of the planets, and then it gives each planet a different perspective on how they can work and adapt to change and how they can handle it. And so next up, Uranus will move into Gemini and be working with planets in Gemini 2026 to, I believe, 2033. So the shakeups that Uranus has brought about, it permanently changes a sign. And so it works differently, of course, in each sign. But I'm thinking about how it was working with these planets in Taurus at the same time that Pluto was in Capricorn making that trine. So actually very big, empowering growth. Now Pluto moves into Aquarius and begins to square the planets in Taurus. And I haven't done the Scorpio stellium yet in the series, and I haven't done the Leo stellium yet. So those are each important because with Pluto now in Aquarius, Pluto is going to be working in a very big way with the fixed signs. So the fixed signs being Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and of course Aquarius. What happens is that Pluto is in Aquarius, squares each of these planets in Taurus and changes the reality of the sign. It changes what the Taurus energy is focused on, dedicated to building. Now in this chart, we already have the Aquarius energy present, but Pluto comes through, and I think of Pluto as not only a timeline change, but it brings up lifestyle changes. It's going to change the life and the experiences of the Taurus energies. And it lasts for 20 years. And so if you're a Taurus and you're hearing that and you're like now dreading it, this is what I want to share, is that what this is doing is it's radically expanding what is possible for you to experience now after certain levels of experience, success, development. That Pluto in Capricorn was a big deal for you. So again, 2008 to 2024. Now 2024 to 2044, a whole new chapter in your life is starting. It's going to be showing up, and it's going to be drastically changing what you thought was certain. And I know that's not easy for the fixed signs at all. And that can sound scary. But there's things you're going to take with you that you will transform and repurpose and build in another way and advance it to a whole new expression. And it feels like creation ability. But because this chart already has the built-in Aquarius, that energy is already present. But Pluto changes the form at its core base level. So you're going to have a value change here in what you want in life, in what you now consider important, in what you want to invest in, or what you think matters. And so just to have a heads up helps with any kind of Pluto transit. Let's see. So as I said, this is for the year 2000, but I'm thinking back to when Pluto was in Scorpio, which would have been 1984 to 1995. Pluto in Scorpio was opposing all those planets in Taurus. Okay, not gonna lie, that would have been really hard and challenging and powerless and going through some really big, intense experiences, life-changing experiences. Then there was a little bit of a relief. And then here comes Pluto in Capricorn, which helped with rebuilding, strengthening, and empowering. And now Pluto in Aquarius is basically going to move you into a new reality, a different timeline, all new frequencies. But these are very creative energies. The thing is that they do echo the changes and disruptions of that Uranus in Taurus that just went through. I'm thinking of this Pluto in Aquarius square as a cosmic clearing to release what you are holding and carrying that maybe is weighing you down. That Saturn can weigh down a chart, makes it very serious. is going to change your goals, ambitions, desires, and is going to bring about new, even faster moving developments, because Pluto moves faster in the frequencies of Aquarius. And I know if you have planets in Taurus, you just went to check your bank account and you're looking at your finances and you're wondering about what's it going to cost, and how do I maintain my stability? But this is such a solid sign that I'm just getting the visual of allowing yourself to work with these higher frequencies and bring them into the earth, anchor them in, and then there's a levitation that happens too. It's being able to experience your earthly reality from a new vantage point and from new frequencies that aren't going to feel as stable as you prefer, but it's going to feel even maybe exciting or interesting, even a sense of, I was ready to be done with that, or I was ready to move on, or I was ready for a change of pace or a change of my reality. And so, again, this is the first video I've done on the fixed signs. So when I do the stellium in Leo, we'll talk about Pluto and Aquarius opposing, and then also the stellium in Scorpio, Pluto and Aquarius squaring. So the fixed signs, if you have planets in fixed signs, you're up. This is where your life is going to be changing permanently, and you're not going to know exactly what it looks like. And that's hard for the fixed signs because you want the guarantee. But that's your earthly perspective that's seeking that for security, safety, just to know your livelihood. But this is actually going higher into your more expanded consciousness that is directing you into new parts of yourself that require more cosmic awareness and a new vision. So I'm gonna end it on that note, that the Pluto squaring the fixed signs are bringing you access to a new life vision that you weren't ready for, that wasn't in front of you. It wasn't part of your assignment. Your assignment is changing on planet Earth, and it's moving you into a new shift in your reality. And I feel too, like, not only is this very creative energy, there's going to be great things that come from it that weren't available to you previously. So again, this chart is for the year 2000. So this would be the individual who's 25. So 25 to 45 is when Pluto in Aquarius will be squaring all of their planets. 20 years, yes, 20 years. And it's going to be a whole new chapter in every area of their life that is going to be quite exciting, interesting, dynamic. It's sort of like you wouldn't just have it on your own. The universe is forcing it or moving you into some areas of yourself that you haven't moved into before. And so I want to give an optimistic spin on it, because resisting and the pushback, let's not lie, this is a brick wall. This is a brick wall. The resistance and the pushback would make it harder, whereas the sense of, okay, let's just see what is possible here, more of the openness will support the development and what is ready to transform within you. So the fixed signs are going to have some of the biggest life changes here now that Pluto is in Aquarius. But Uranus moving on is going to feel like relief. And there's also an awareness in the consciousness that you wanted this change. You were ready for it in this lifetime. You're ready for what happens next, what develops next. And that also a very deep core part of you is on board and is aware of the good things that are going to grow from it, that are going to beautifully sprout up. So this was a longer video simply because there is more going on for fixed signs, but of course I hope it helps you and any planets you have in Taurus. I have a playlist here on YouTube going through all these charts. I'm doing them in random order. Why? Because I get to. And so thank you for being here, and I look forward to sharing the next one with you soon.